Hi everyone, Kelly Bear here. Welcome to my channel. I am with you today for a little look at my spring decks, the decks that I have chosen for the season. Yes, I'm kind of late to the party here because we are halfway through spring at this point, and I only actually picked these decks out a couple of weeks ago at the beginning of the month, but that's okay, you know, better late than never. I do take a meteorological approach to the seasons, so I see spring as being the entirety of sort of March, April and May all together. I just like full round numbers, or full like segments of time. I find sort of trying to take it from specific dates or meteorological events like or astronomical events like solstices or equinoxes rather, being just blah, numbers, and it's messy for me. I just like the nice tasty full months. It just makes my brain happy. It's tidy. Yeah, so I just thought I would pull some out for the season, and I kind of have been doing this for a long time because most of my decks are in these two really big storage containers, and they're heavy, and they've got other storage containers on top of them which are heavy. It's a whole thing, and it's a real faff. So what I usually do is I have like a little case and a box just down by my altar that I just put decks that I would like to work in with for the foreseeable future, so that it's easier for me to just grab them. I don't know how much I would do that if I had all of these on bookshelves that I could like easily access everything. Last year I did something a little different where I was actually picking the decks for each month ahead of the time. So the end of each month, before I would pick the decks for the following month, and then I wouldn't decide. I would pick a tarot deck and an oracle deck and sometimes a Lenormand. And then I wouldn't necessarily decide which ones I was going to work with each week because that was a bit too prescriptive for me. I would just sort of see how I felt, like vibed it out. But it was a little bit much pulling for every month. So I've gone back to my pulling a selection for the next like 2 or 3 months. My favourite one to do is like autumn / spooky season because I love me some spooky stuff. But like bone crunching terror. So yeah, I that's my favorite one to do, and I don't really have any like Christmassy themed decks. I think this is the year I might get like a Christmas themed deck, a Yule themed rather than like, you know, or Christmas, whatever. But yeah, I need to get on with it. A little bit of housekeeping up front though. I'm hoping to have a mini shop restock next Sunday, so that will be Sunday, April 21st. Smaller than my usual or average size drops, just because I've been unwell and or very busy with family stuff and just have not had either the time and or the energy to be able to work basically. So yeah, I'm hoping to be back on it. I've got mine and my spouse's 10th wedding anniversary on Tuesday, so yeah, that's going to be exciting, but it does mean I have one less work day to work because we'll be out and about that day. So again, it's minimizing the amount of time I do have to get a shop drop ready, but I have got a partial one together over on putting there some pouches over there on my dressing table. So yeah, I'm just going to see how many I manage to get done and sewn up and photographed and listed. Whatever gets done gets done. It's better than now, but like, yeah, I'm really struggling because I've been taken out essentially for 4 weeks of like being able to work properly, and it's, you know. So yeah, that's that. Keep your peepers peeled. It'll all be updated on my community feed, but the best place to get information about that is either on my personal YouTube, and the best place to get information about that is on my Kelly Bear art, not YouTube, my Kelly Bear art Instagram and my personal Instagram. Sorry, oh, still a bit brain foggy, so word of warning. So I have a selection of oracles, tarots, and a couple of Lenormand. I've got 4 Smith-Waite based, 4 Marseille or Pipi decks, and I've tried to pick things that feel spring-like to me, and decks that I think will work together. I have been considering doing a little like combos video just to like have a play with some decks and see what they look like together, but like just film it, because I do that anyway, just for myself when I'm like picking decks and having a little play. But I always think like I could have filmed that. You know, as they say on Critical Role, everything is content. I don't know, I don't want everything to be content, because then like I don't want to put my whole life on the internet. But anyway, let's get into it. I do apologise, the colour is going to be slightly skewed on these cards. It's going to have more of a like yellow tone rather than a white tone, because I've had to put the curtain up because it's so sunny today, which is great, I guess, and it's quite warm. But it was making the whole room as bright as heaven looks in Good Omens. And I was like almost luminescently white. I looked like Mr. Burns in the X-Files episode of The Simpsons, like just glowing. So it's like no, and then you couldn't really, I was trying to just have a quick look on the screen with some of the glossier cards, and it was just, you couldn't see anything. So this is my concession, so I apologize if the colors look weird. But the first deck that I am showing you is Zeks Arana by Julia A. Rich, who is an Australian artist who does a lot of sort of really beautiful surrealist stuff. I got this deck earlier this year. It is going out of print, so if you are looking to get a copy, do not prevaricate, because you will then lose the chance to get it at its sort of standard price, because I imagine people would then sell this on for crazy amounts of money. That seems to be what happens. But yeah, this deck feels very spring slash, well, probably more summery, to be honest. But I had so much fun working with it when it first came in. Quite frankly, now that it's getting sunnier, it's at that point where it's sunny and it's okay because it's not too warm. I really start to struggle once it's like gets really hot, but then it's just always sunny. Like, I need some darkness, some subdued lighting, some cooler temperatures, a nice breeze. I don't do well in the summer, but the spring and autumn, they're my transitional seasons are my favourite. But yeah, this is a Smith-Waite based deck. As you can see, here's the 9 of Wands. You've got that sort of nod to the rod, sort of the person holding the rod. Not the 7 of Wands, sorry, no, yeah, the 9 of Wands. Oh my god. The Emperor. I really like the Emperor with the sort of crystalline head and this like rather scary looking ram that has what appears to be a crystal shank instead of a hoof. I'm into it. And some of the cards are a little more sort of detailed than others. Like some feel more like pips with feelings. So here we go. We have the 9 of Cups, which feels very just 9 of Cups, right? For, you know, very Smith-Waite, except we have this adorable giant, I don't know what, hamster, capybara, I don't know. And then, you know, you've got like the classic 7 of Swords, bloody hell, what is wrong with me today? 3 of Swords with the heart being run through. But then you have like some of them are just pips with feelings. So let me see if I can find a good example. I think like the 8 of Cups would be a good example, if I remember correctly. No, of course I can't find it now. Oh, here we go, like the 8 of Cups, right? So you've got a nod to the background. We've got no person in this walking up the way, but you do have, you know, you've got what the scenery would be, and you've got this sort of almost sad or maybe resigned looking sun, and then the cups. But then when it comes to say like the rods, they're very pippy, and you've got a lot less information to go on. So I do find the rods probably the least sort of if you're new to pippy kind of decks and you want pips with feelings, this one is probably the suit of rods, the suit of wands is a little more tricky. I mean, they've got the wreath on the 4, which again has a nod to the 4 in the Rider-Waite Smith, but yeah, it's a tricky one. I mean, it's not too much of an issue for me because I read Marseille and Pip anyway, and I tend to read Smith-Waite and Marseille a little differently, but you know, sometimes you can't help there being a little bit of the one infusing the other, which is, you know, all that information you've got up in your brain regarding the tarot cards is there to be used and worked with. So this is just such a fun, happy, colourful, bright deck, and it's so weird, I just wanted to work with it again. The next one that I picked out for my Smith-Waite ones was the 5th Spirit Tarot by Charlie Claire Burgess. I'm excited because Charlie is running a Marseille Zoom class this evening. Well, this evening for me here in the UK, it'll be in the afternoon for people in the US and Canada. And I think it was a perk for people who backed the Kickstarter, so I'm hoping to be able to join that later. I have registered, but yeah, I'm sort of on a Charlie Claire Burgess kick as always, so the 5th Spirit had to be. I love the backs. This is the mass market version, and I mean, I love this deck. This is the tarot deck I've been working with this week and last week. For my week ahead reading. This death card is just one of my favourite depictions I've ever seen. It's intergenerational depiction. It's just stunning. This Ace of Pentacles is beautiful. The dirty hands, the bulb sprouting slightly. Oh, the soil. So yeah, this just, I mean, is this deck very spring-like? I don't know, these colours feel quite spring-like. It's kind of spring-like, I guess. I feel like this is an all-season deck, and quite frankly, it's one of my all-time faves, so it had to go in there. And I've worked with it for the last 2 weeks, so it was a good choice, clearly. The next one that I picked is specifically kind of a spring deck. It's the Ostara Tarot. It's very glossy though. The next two are kind of glossy cardstock. I love the backs. They're much more sort of green, minty green in real life. They're not coming up as green as they are on camera. And this was the deck that's created by 4 different artists. But I feel like it really works. So I'll just try and pick some of my favourites for you. The colours are more muted, it's not so brightly coloured, and I actually also feel this is a really great, so it has lots of oranges in it, which feels very late summer and sort of autumny as well. So even though it's like the Ostara Tarot, it does feel fairly all seasons. Of course you can use any deck anytime. I use my like spooky decks all year round, like the Halloween tarot and what have you, the zombie tarot. But I love this so much. Look. Oh, this is one of my favourite strength cards ever with the dragon. So I'm tilting it back slightly so that the ring light isn't shining in it as much. So I apologise if it's harder to see. This, oh, there's so many beautiful cards, and I know this is not everyone's cup of tea. Some people don't feel that it's quite disjointed because of the 4 different artists, but I feel it works really well. And because it's the Ostara Tarot, you kind of just have to take it out. You know, obviously Ostara was several weeks ago now, but we're just, look at this devil, look at the people in there. Look at the wings on the devil. Oh. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. I don't know if this will be the one I use next week, actually. I'm feeling maybe this is the one for the week to come. We will see. We will see. I always like to see how I feel by the end of Sunday, because I pick my decks out for my big Monday morning reading that I do over a cuppa. And I take it all downstairs with like my divination journal and everything, because you know, my spouse gets up later than I do. I'm quite an early riser, so I just sort of do it all downstairs at the kitchen table. So I need to make sure it's all there and ready to go for when I get up. So the 4th Smith-Waite based deck, again, it's one of those decks that I can't help but like grab all the time, and it is you know, it's a fave. It's the Sasarai Bito Tarot, again glossy cardstock. This is the 3rd printing, I believe, 2nd or 3rd printing, so it's got very shiny cardstock. The current editions have a sort of more strange I wouldn't call it linen. It's got a very strange texture to it, but it's nice. Like, I really like it. I have the tiny travelers that someone very kindly, Kim, you know who you are, gifted me, and I'm loving the cardstock on that. It's downstairs because it's in my like travel to grab deck selection. Oh, maybe I'll take a travel deck out with me on Tuesday. I think we're going to go to Greenwich. We're going to go to the Maritime Museum because they've got some good exhibitions on. So we might go to that. But yeah, it'd be fun to do readings on the waterfront. Oh no, it might be too windy though. Maybe not. We'll see. One of my favourite devil cards again. Oh, hello. So yeah, I'm really, really excited. Jin Ursa. This is my headcanon. It's Jin from Rogue One. Star Wars Rogue One. Yeah. I love this. This is just one of my comfort decks. Maybe I should do, have I done a video on comfort decks before? I feel like I need to update it because I've had so many more decks since I might have filmed that video. I can't remember stuff. It's just my life now. Okay, the 4 Pippi Marseille decks. So the first one is the Beautiful Tooi by Mr. Freeborg. I have the classic edition, not the vintage, and it has these, as I like to say, Delft blue, the backgrounds, like Delft China. Stunning. And this is based on Italian, so hence Tooi, Italian decks, old Italian decks. So it's the pips are not arranged in the manner of a Marseille for the most part. The coins are a bit more and the cups a little bit more, but when you get to the rods and the swords, less so. So here we go. It's such a sumptuous deck, but I've never really been able to quite find an oracle, like in my collection that I have so far, an oracle deck that really works with it. And the oracle deck that I picked up this week is a little bit of retail therapy because I've been starting to feel a bit sorry for myself because I'd been so unwell for like almost 3 weeks. I was like, I deserve to like pick a book and a deck off of my wish list and just grab it, just like mass market, nothing, you know, nothing too expensive. And yeah, and I'm thinking I'm going to have a little look when I show the oracle deck to see whether, I haven't actually put them next to each other yet, but I feel like they're going to work. It was the one that I had in mind, so we will see. So here we go, we have the 3 of Cups. As you see, it's a little differently arranged to like a Marseille, which would have the 2 at the bottom and then the 3rd one. But yeah, the coins are kind of, you know, very similar to a Marseille. And it's so sumptuous. Every face is a skeleton. It has a sense of humour. It's luscious. It's, I don't know, it just feels decadent. But without being gaudy. Yum. Okay. So there's that one. The next one is one that I had such a love affair with last year, and it's my Dinosaur Marseille. Look at the backs. This was so cute. This is from a UK artist. This artist is based in Wales, and I was so pleased that I showed this because I think I saw this on either Saturnarium's or Joanna the Polish Folk Witch's channel. I can't remember where I saw it first, and I was like, what, a Marseille? And it has dinosaurs, and it's UK based, and it's like really reasonably priced, and it will just be standard UK postage. Yes please. So I promptly picked up a copy, but it's just so much fun. It's actually a Minchiati. You get like all the extra Minchiati cards, and the titles have been changed, and the suits have been changed, but it just reads so well. Like, it's basically done in this real Marseille style, like naive-ish artwork. It has a real sense of humour. It's really fun. It just reads like just any Marseille. It makes me happy. It's colourful, but the colours are like sort of borrowed from the Marseille, but the tones are a bit easier on the eye. And as I said, the coloration is going to be a little off via my camera due to me having this curtain up, but come on camera, it's just really fun. This would be the Knight of Wands. No, Fossils. Knight of, yeah, Knight of Wands. Fossils. They call it fossils. Well, I always want to call it bones, but it's fossils. So let's see. We have 2 dinosaurs instead of 2 dogs in the moon. It's just fun. It's just really fun. This like crustacean looks kind of scary. It's got a grumpy looking face. So anyway, so that's the other, another one of my Pippi Marseille decks. The next one is super Pippi, but very spring to me because it's all pastel colours. And it's the Kawaii Tarot. I have the mass market edition. It's very simple. It's very cute. And I find this reads really nicely for me. So the court cards are a little like, unless you're reading the title, you won't necessarily know what the court that you're looking at is. So, you know, you're kind of relying on the title on that, but you know, that doesn't bother me too much. But just look at these little starry coins. They look so like Mario or something, so like 8-bit. Look at this adorable tower. So yeah. I made like the cutest pouch for this deck as well. It makes me happy every time I get it out of its little pouch. So yeah, I'm excited. Oh, some of them got turned around. What's happened there? Some of them are the wrong way. What happens here? Hang on, see what I mean? So like, you had Queen of Swords. There's nothing in the picture to really tell you that other than the title. So I do wish there was like something of that element in there, but it's not the end of the world. Again, like this looks so like, this mission makes me think of like the little swords. Like you could see Link from Legend of Zelda just like wielding one of these little swords. That's cute. Although this is the one with the typo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's the 9 of Wands, but it only has 8 candy canes on it. I don't know if this has subsequently been corrected, but I bought this a year or 2 after it came out, and it was obviously the original printing. It's not the end of the world. So yeah, I'm just really excited to play. It just feels really spring and summer to me, and because again, oh, this devil, I love me a devil card. it's just cute. It is so cute. A little ram head. So yeah, anyway, so this is one of the ones I've pulled out, and you know, I pull all of these out, and you know, there's like 8 decks to be using over the next couple of months. Will I work with all of them? I don't know. It's just nice to have the selection. I just go by how I feel. So the next one I have is another Charlie Claire Burgess. I'm so excited because Charlie Claire Burgess has the yeah, the class tonight. So did I mention that? Did I mention that? Oh my god. See what I mean? Yeah, so this is the Gay Marseille, and it is stunning. Look at this, the feather boa and the flail at the top there. It's so much fun. We have the HRT here for the 6 swords. Come on, camera, don't be annoying. One of my favourite queens in the deck, Queen of Coins. This reminds me of a friend of mine, actually. Yeah, it's awesome. I really like what's been done with the Emperor. We've got a leather daddy. We've got the anarchist symbol over the Emperor's shield. It's fun. So I'm just trying to pick out some of my more, you know, favourite depictions so that it's oh yeah, I like the 10 of Cups with all the different like queer flags in there. It's just fun and colourful and powerful. The Tower card really gets me just in the feels. Hang on, where is, I mean, how badass do they look? Knight of Swords, the whole outfit, I love it. There is the Tower. So we have Sylvia Rivera and Marsha P. Johnson. Come on. at the top there, and then we have a cop and a judge falling out the bottom. I mean, Stonewall was a riot, and trans people have been included, and kick-started all that shit off from the jump. LGB with the T, I will say it forever. Right, okay. And I also noticed again, like, I lost a load of subscribers from my last video, which means when I showed this deck, or from my, was it my monthly faves? What was it? What was the video that I did? And I lost a load of subscribers, and I don't know, I was like, was it the trans rights of it all? Was it me saying that I'm like sad that I haven't been able to go to some protests because I've been unwell? I'm sorry, but I'm a witch, and to me that means being like involved in social justice. Personal is political, folks. I will always talk about it on my channel. I have done from the very, very beginning. And I guess it's just people that sort of subscribe to my channel and haven't necessarily seen my back catalogue of social justice runs. Pope Joan. Yes. Okay. So yeah, I'm very excited to continue to play with this deck. The colours are just so scrumptious. So yum. Yum, 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 yum. It's so funny, right? Because I've said this before. I love colour. I love seeing... they like have flavors for me, like hence what I say, like my mouth waters, or I want to lick things because the color. I don't, for the most part, lick the things, but it's like a synesthesia thing. But now I can't remember what my point was. Because neurodivergent brain. Okay, let's just move this out the way. I'm just moving all these decks out the way so I can show you some oracles. Meow, 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 meow. Will my point come back to me whilst I'm middle of showing you the oracles? Maybe, who knows. So that was the one video I did last week. It was the oracles with attitude, Tegan of Cosmic Creepers Tubes, fun tag. So yeah, this deck was in that, which is the Atkas Barman podcast oracle with the little skulls. It's like fishnet with skulls, or like veiling with skulls, beads on them. Anyway, yeah. This is a really, I mean, it's very capacious. It's got the white backgrounds and the line work and that pops of pink. It feels very sort of open and, yeah, very spring-like to me. I don't know. This one really packs a punch, this one. And again, it has a humour. I notice I do like to have a sense of humour in my decks. I do like more sort of, you know, spiritual or more sort of serious decks as well, but I find sometimes they can take themselves a bit too seriously or be a bit too sort of seems sincere but can be a little cloying. I don't know. I think I'm just an irreverent person. And that doesn't, not to say that I don't take things seriously. I just think I have quite a sort of dark sense of humour. It's because it was, you know, it's a coping mechanism that I've developed over the years. Because if you don't laugh, you'll fucking cry, and I often cry. But you know, you have to be able to find the humour or the joy in things as well. And that doesn't mean that you're going to be laughing at serious and grave situations or not taking certain things seriously. But you need levity, otherwise you just lose the will, right? But yeah, I love this deck, and it matches. It pairs quite nicely with a lot of decks because it's quite minimal in its colour palette and quite open in its depiction with the white backgrounds. So yeah, that's one of my spring ones. Another one that is very different in art style but has that sort of capaciousness, which I really love, and again because of that pairs so well with so many decks. It's the Empty Cup Oracle by Stacia Barrington, who is the artist of the Tarot. I had to really think about that then. Did you see? Even though that's like one of my all-time favourite decks ever. So yeah, we have gorgeous, simple, elegant. I really love the guidebook for this. It's just a small guidebook, but it really packs a wallop and has some really fun quotes in it as well. Hatchet. Yeah, here the aforementioned empty cup, the titular card, the empty cup. And then we have the odd card that has a couple of cards that have like a dark background. So we have space here, and there's only like 1 or 2 of them. I can literally see them. Here we go. We have the moon. I think there's like 3 or 4. The moon, shooting star. So sort of like astronomical cards. And then there's crater. So yeah, you have like the sort of space-based ones. Space-based. Say that fast 3 times. And I believe the rest all have, from what I can see, yeah, the rest all have a white background. Stinging nettle. Grasp the nettle. Is that the saying? There's a particular way you can grasp the nettle without stinging yourself. You don't actually have to sting yourself, folks. And mushrooms. And I like the choice of mushroom here, because it could so easily sort of go for, you know, a fly agaric or something that looks a bit more sort of with the wide cap. We've gone for something different here. I'm not au fait with mushrooms, so I don't actually know what kind of mushroom this is. Not a massive, I don't eat mushrooms. I can't eat mushrooms, I'm allergic, but I find them fascinating. They kind of horrify me and fascinate me at the same time. Mayflies. I pulled this card quite a few times last year. So yeah, I'm looking forward to, and because it's very neutral, it's in shades of black and grey on a mostly white background. It plays really nicely with other decks. Then there is this chonker, and the mini version in a tin has just come out, and I'm like, I nearly bought that one this week because I love this, but it's quite unwieldy. And it's the Archetypes Oracle by Kim Kranz. Well done, known archetypes. And I'm still kind of getting to grips with this one. I've had this for a while now, but I'm finding, yeah, it's an interesting one. It reminds me a little bit of the Weavers, where it feels so intense, and it's dealing with such a vast themes that I feel like I can only work with one archetype for an extended period. I've tried doing archetypes over a week, and even sometimes that doesn't feel like long enough. So with the Weaver's Oracle, I actually incorporate that into my solar return, my year ahead spread, which I do around my birthday, because I like my year ahead to be more personal than like which is fine, because some people say they prefer to use the Gregorian New Year because everyone's sort of pointing in the same direction. Everyone's energy is faced to this new beginning. But for me, I tend to do it for my birthday because, you know, it's about me. It's my year ahead. So it's just like how I might like to mark it. And also, I feel sometimes there's too much pressure to do it around New Year. There's already too much pressure around New Year for me sometimes. And so doing it on something more personal feels more comfortable to me. So with the Weaver's Oracle, I pick 1 card per quarter. So I work with 1 Weaver per every 3 months. And that feels like the sweet spot for me. A month didn't feel like long enough. I tried a little bit longer, but yeah, 3 months, chef's kiss. And what I've been doing, because this will be my 3rd year doing that, once I have worked with that Weaver, it gets put away, and then when I do my year ahead spread again, my solar return spread, I don't pull from the cards that I've already worked with, because I'm making my way through, if you know, you know, making my way through the entire deck and working with each Weaver. And yes, that means that some Weavers might have messages for me that I'm not pulling because I've already worked with them, but I would rather work with the whole deck first, and I can always pull it out and like do other readings with it if I want to. I've been working with it in this way now. This will be my 3rd year, and I'd tried working with it on and off for the first like 3 years or so that I had it, and I just wasn't quite, this is the thing that's worked for me. So anyway, that was a very long-winded way of explaining things. So yeah, this, I'm so tempted to get the mini version And this again, this feels like an all-season deck to me, because of this. A lot of the black and white, you know, makes it feel like it can be very wintry and sparse, but then you've got like really fun colours, pops of colour. Like, you know, this one's really colourful. The Sustainer. The guidebook to this is really interesting as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to playing with this. I played with this quite a bit last summer. Play is probably the wrong word to use, but you know, worked with. I keep trying to correct myself, because sometimes I used this deck, and I'm trying to reframe that. So you'll see myself say I you, and then sort of auto correct myself where I'm saying I worked with, or I played with, or what have you, because I don't want to feel. I want to feel like I'm more in relationship with the tools that I'm working with. I don't want to say that I used them. I want to say that I worked with this collaboration. I don't know, getting a more animistic. So yeah, then the next deck that I picked for spring is the Lemal Spirits by Laura Tempest Zakroff. I worked a lot with, see I did it just then, I went to say you, and then I worked with the Anatomy of a Witch Oracle a lot last year, and this one took a bit of a backseat, and I was like, no, hang on, let's grab this guy out and have fun with this one for a while. This again feels very summer autumny, just because the colours are very rich toned, but like I said, because I've been working more with the Anatomy of a Witch, I just wanted to switch it up a bit. And my card for this week, because I worked with this, was Inspiration. A beautiful card to pick for the week, especially as I finally sort of cleared my infection and started to feel more like myself again. Yeah, I this is a really interesting deck. It has like suits in a sense, like it will have like caves, just because I just read it. It will have like places and like, what's the word? Rites and various types of animals broken up into different, I think it's like winged animals, and then like plants and fiery animals. I can't remember because I've not worked with it for a while. So yeah, I'm looking forward to having a go with this, and this pairs quite nicely with quite a few decks that I have. And then the deck that I bought was the Oracle of the Roses. I believe it's a hay house. Is it a hay house or is it a meow? Let's have a look. The box is down here. It's by Sherilyn Darcy, and it's by Rockpool. Sorry, not Hay House. And it was very inexpensive, and it was on sale as well. So I was like, well, I'm gonna grab that. Has this sort of pinkishy red metallic. The cardstock is really thick, and it like, I've tried riffle shuffling it and like breaking it down a bit whilst I was playing D&D the other night. I was sort of fiddling with it and shuffling with it and sort of trying to break it in, and it just, it's really thick. Also, anyone who has this deck, I haven't like really read the book yet because I've only just sort of been trying to like shuffle and break it in, but there are repeats of the same card of the same name. So there's one called the Pioneer, and there's two Pioneers within the same suit, because there's like Wild Roses, Garden Roses, and Wild Roses, Old Garden Roses, and Modern Garden Roses, right? In the Wild Roses we have a Pioneer twice, right? And then there's an Alchemist in the Wild Roses, and then there's also an Alchemist in the Modern Garden Roses. So this is dealing with archetypes, right? The Companion. So I'll show you some cards. The Companion, the Artist, the archetype, I guess, of the artist, right? The Ruler, the Mother. And there are so many archetypes. I mean, this deck has got 78 archetypes, and there were so many more that Kim Cran says that she could have included, but she needed to like cap the deck out at a certain number of cards, and 78 was it? I think it was 78. I might be wrong, it might be more than that. But she said she had like something like 200 archetypes or something, bananas. So I'm like, why do we have 2 alchemists and 2 pioneers? And the pioneers are within the same suit. They're within the old garden roses. Within the wild roses. So does anyone know why? That sort of irked me when I was looking through it the other night. So, but I feel like I'm hoping, I was flipping through the book in between, like we had a quick comfort break during our session on Friday, our D&D session. I was like looking through the book trying to find if there was any explanation in the intro or any of those sections of why there were repeats, but then I was like, oh, I didn't actually look at the entries for those particular cards, so I'll have to read those and see what it says. But does anyone who has this deck find that irritates them? And does it work? Like, have you sort of made your peace with it, or do you take some of the cards out? I don't know. So yeah, but I really enjoy the archetypes that are included. So we have the Advocate, for example, the Sage, the Father, the Innovator. What's some of the other one? We have like some, like, it's not all like positive. There's like the Gambler, the Loner, which is not necessarily positive. Sometimes being a loner is preferable. The Gardener, the Priest, the Explorer, the Hero, the Caregiver, the Scientist, the Sensualist, the Architect, the Mystic, the Healer, the Heart. Oh my god, so many. The Rescuer, the Lover, the Storyteller, the Ancestor, the Knight, the Creator, the Jester, the Warrior, the Outsider, the Giver. I feel like they've also got, like, between like the Loner and the Outsider, they could be like synonyms for each other, but they also have like a different vibe. And then you've got like the Mystic and the Sage and the Priest, so they all have like a certain like spiritual role within their community, but they're like different. I like that. It feels like it's got a nice, we've got the Knight and the Warrior, the Self, the Democrat, the Rebel, the Liberator. So we've got the Liberator, which I like, and then the Advocate, which feel like some of these can go really nicely together, like when you're talking about like social justice work and stuff like that. Yeah, so I actually, overall, I'm confused by the couple of repeat titles, because I feel like you've only got 44 cards in this deck. You surely could have come up with new, like, why? But I'll read the book, I'll have a play with the deck, and we'll see how it goes. So the deck that I got this to go with predominantly was the Taroki by Mr. Freeball, because I didn't have any deck in my collection, Oracle wise, that would go with it. So let's have a quick look at those, and then I'll show you the last couple of decks. I feel like these are going to work nicely. Yeah, let's do a couple together. I would like at least one other oracle that I think would work with this Taroki, just so I've got options. Obviously this has more like a Victoriana, botany, language of flowers vibe, which is much later than this Taroki, but I just feel like they kind of work, or that they would work. Yeah, I think it could. I think I could make this fly. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, looking forward to having a play with those. Yum, 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 yum. Okay, let's just pop these out the way. Oh my goodness, I was going to say my drink is getting cold, but it's not, because it's iced. I made myself a decaffeinated iced latte with cinnamon syrup. It's not quite so icy anymore, but it's still cold. Refreshing. So I only picked a couple of Lenormand. I feel like I might be burning myself out with Lenormand now, because I've been doing it like at least almost every single morning, Monday to Friday, and sometimes at weekends. And I've been doing just two to three card draws, and for the most part, I'm going to be honest, I've been working with the Brown Witch Lenny. No one's surprised if they've been watching any of my videos over the last like 6 months or so. I love this deck, and it reads like you would not believe for me. I've literally been rendered speechless with the messages that I've gotten, when I come back at the end of the day, or when I have a realization throughout the middle of the day about how on the nose I mean, people say predictive reading isn't a thing. I'm beginning to beg to differ. Because I'm just getting goosebumps thinking about it. Like, I've got my hair's all stood up. And obviously, like I've done, it's happened a little bit with other Lenormand, but it's, I don't know, there's just something about this beauty. Sorry, I should show you some of the cards. This is by Krista, aka Auntie K. Which I've just reminded myself, she did a video of her new playing card oracle, and I put it on my to watch list, and then I haven't gotten around to watch it because I want to see that. I've been watching her making that playing card deck, and it looked really fun. And I really like that she's put like the people from the court cards into the cards. And I wasn't sure if I was going to like this, but I think it's a really fun idea. It's just, you know, here again talking about spooky decks that I've been using all year. I've been using this pretty much since I got it last October, which was perfect timing, right? I love this. I think this is my favourite ring card in Lenormand. Yeah, it's just... stole my heart. And so of course I'm like, well, I have to have it there available. I was considering the Gilded Reverie Lenormand, but actually that feels more summer autumn because it's got lots of really rich tones. So I went to one of my other ones that I've been working with, which is the Lilac Lenormand by Logan at Larkin Legend. The colour isn't coming up. It's more of a lovely, excuse me, it's a much richer lilac than is showing up. Again, this has like nods to computer games and sort of geeky stuff there. It's cute. This makes me think of Animal Crossing. Come on, camera. It's so cute and quite playful and very fun. This makes me think of, again, of Animal Crossing, you know, when you shake the trees and get the fruit. I've not played Kirby because I know this is also reference to Kirby game. One of my favourite mice cards because we've got this like super... It's the mouse on top that does it for me. He's so victorious. Yes! And it feels less... Like obviously the mice is not really a card you'd want to come up in a reading. But if it's going to come up, like let it be this cute. I just... Yeah, this deck gives me cute aggression. I think this is like one of my favourite garden cards in Lenormand. Oh, again. So yeah, this is another one. I feel like this will get a bit more play now that it's spring, going into spring, summer. My head canon is this is my snake, Reuben, that I used to have a pet snake back in the day. Fairy ring for ring. Again, another favourite for the ring cards. Like two independent decks doing very different depictions of the ring cards and both just being really fun. So yeah, I feel like this, now that it's like this lilac-y pastel colours, feels very springy to me. So yeah, I feel like, you know, like this, the kawaii and this will go really nicely together, for example. So yeah, I might have a little play with some combinations. We will see and see how they work, but I'll do that once I stop filming. I've got these all turned about. They're all, some are back to front, and what have I done? What a mess. There we go. I think that's all right. Anyway, so yeah, those are the decks that I have put aside for the spring season, or the remainder of the spring season. I'm starting to get more... I don't know, it's interesting, right, because I'm itching for Lenormand Marseille, especially because of the gay Marseille coming in, right? But I'm also enjoying working with positional spreads. So I picked up a zine from Sylvia Tarot Magpie, which is some of their 3-card spreads. And then Kellyanne Maddox yesterday actually posted a post on Instagram, which was a bunch of 3-card spreads that really like pack a wallop as well, that she's put up. And then the book that I picked up was the Tarot Spreads yearbook. I just was like, you know, I bought this for a friend last year for her birthday, and I was like, when I was like, flipping through it before I wrapped it and gave it to her, and I was like, I kind of want this, but you know, that was in June last year. It's taken me this long to pick it up because there's so many books I want. And it's like, you know, the only other spread book I've got is Liz Dean's Ultimate Guide to Tarot Spreads, which I really do rate. I think that's a really good book. But this has like a different take. It's got like a structure to it, so I haven't read it yet. But that's one of my things to do this afternoon, is to start do a bit of reading this afternoon, but like non-fiction reading, like study reading. So yeah, that's, what was I saying? So yeah, I'm like, I tend to, so that was it. I want to work, I'm getting the itch for Marseille, but I tend to read Marseille more like open style, freestyle. I don't enjoy Marseille as much with positional spreads. I do some positional spreads, like the Tirage en Croix, for example, is my favourite to work with Marseille as a positional spread. So maybe I just need to like break out of my little box. Maybe I should try, let's flip it, right? Flip it and reverse it. We have some Smith Whaley decks and do like open reading, and maybe do some Marseille with some of those spreads, like some of Kellyanne's, some of Sylvie's, some in that book. Give it a go. You know, it's good to like break out of your like, get stuck in your own like way, and I think that's just, yeah, it's good to like force yourself to not get too stuck in your ways. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands. Anyway, this has gotten pretty long. So yeah, I am going to leave it there. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for taking time out of your precious day to spend it with me. It really means a lot. I'd love to hear what decks you are working with this spring, or if you have any suggestions for combinations that might work, like, or if you have any suggestions for Oracle decks that you think or know work well with the Tarot by Mr. Freeborg. Yeah, let me know your thoughts. What was your thoughts on this? I hope wherever you are safe and well, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao.